All right, everyone, welcome back to Crazy Stupid Midlife, where we are rebranding midlife one episode at a time. Welcome to our media edit, May 2025.
We'd also like to share that we exceeded a first huge milestone and have more than 550 listeners, which we just launched in April. So that's pretty amazing.
Mid-April.
Mid-April. So
Yeah.
what, 6 weeks? Almost 6
It's been a little bit over, almost 6 weeks. We officially launched our trailer, I want to say April 14th, and then our first episode went live, I think, on the 15th.
Yeah, so thank you for all of your support because we really wouldn't be doing this without you guys, and that's growing every single week. So just wanted to let you guys know that we're really grateful for you listening to us. And please let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about or something that you're interested in, because that helps us keep it interesting.
Yes, and keep it current. And we also wanted to share, a lot of people have been sharing the podcast with other people. So we definitely encourage that. The more our numbers grow, the more it allows us to get on even larger platforms in terms of sponsorships and secure, like, not better guests, because all of our guests have been wonderful, but like more guests, because guests like to be on shows that, have a lot of listeners. So we really appreciate you guys supporting us. This has been a really fun endeavor for the both of us. And I can't say how much I've been enjoying it, even though sometimes I'm losing my mind trying to figure stuff out. But at the same time, it's something I've always wanted to do. And it's just been great having the support from everyone. So a big, huge, giant thank you from both of us.
I agree. So today, let's explain what our edit is. What's our media edit?
Yeah. So we love to consume media. Who doesn't, right? We love to read. We love to watch TV. We love to watch movies. We love to listen to podcasts. We love to listen to audiobooks. We love to use our Kindles. We just love to consume media. And we thought it would be really fun if we shared with you, what we've been reading lately, because this is our first one, but we're planning to do it every single month. So in June, we'll do a media edit. We'll talk about some of the things that we are planning to consume and read and listen to and watch and all the things. And we're planning to do this every single month. I'm super excited because reading and TV and movies are so fun to unpack. And I know it's the same for you, Danielle. We always do this anyways on the phone. So why not share it with our community so that you guys can, get some ideas about things to consume, and also hopefully chime in too with what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're consuming.
Yeah. So what do we have first? Are we going to talk about books?
Well, I was thinking we should start with current obsession. So I thought that would be fun, starting with the current obsession. And for me, I was obsessed for probably a couple of months with a movie called The Substance with Demi Moore. She was nominated for Best Actress for this role. And I have a really funny story, and I think I maybe mentioned this to you already, but it's great to share with everyone. So I was flying to Copenhagen with my oldest and dearest friend. And she suggested that we watch The Substance, I believe. I believe it was her suggestion. I think so, because it was it's listed as a horror, right? And I'm not a horror movie watcher, but my friend loves them. And so I said, okay, I think I can do it because you're next to me. We're on a plane. We might as well. So we start watching it, and it had what I think is called body horror, because it's not like jump scare where you're like that. It's more like you're seeing things happen on the screen that are a little bit uncomfortable, kind of like Grey's Anatomy, but on crack cocaine, because it also had a layer of ASMR. And so
what is
sounds
ASMR?
that you're hearing,
yeah,
I don't even know what it stands for. Do you know what it stands for?
I don't.
Okay. It's basically elevated sounds, so that they do this a lot on Instagram Reels. Sometimes I get annoyed with it, like when they're packing a lunch and you hear all the Tupperware clicking, click, 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 click. It's like annoying, but
it's really bad. It's hypersensitive. So you can hear like every little thing. Yeah.
Yes. And so, you also have the earbuds in on the plane. So imagine, right? You're only hearing the ASMR and like the slicing of flesh, right? So excuse me, I just bumped my mic. But it was a lot for me. So at one point, my friend had everything. She's a type A personality. So she had an entire pharmacy in her backpack. And I was like, I don't really feel so good. This was about, I don't know, maybe a third of the way into the movie. And she said, I have some chewable Pepto-Bismol. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. So she gives me one, and then, it continues on, and I'm like, I'm going to need another one. So then she gives me another one. Then I'm burping. Then I ask the flight attendant for bubbly water to settle my stomach. Because here's the thing. I realized early on that even though it was really hard for me to watch, the message was so powerful that I had to power through. And so I did power through, finished the movie. It was also uncomfortable because a lot of people near you could see what you were watching. And it wasn't like sexually bad, but it was definitely body horror. That's the only way I can explain it, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
You started it and you weren't able to finish it. So talk a little bit about that. And then I think we can unpack some of the messages that resonated so much with me and why I was so obsessed with it.
So I don't like sci-fi and I don't like horror. It's very, very hard for me to watch. And my mom had told me before you had mentioned the movie that she watched it, and she asked if I had watched it. And I said no. She goes, it's so weird. She said, it's so weird. It's awful. Like, she just didn't like it. And I think it's because of the horror aspect, not the message, because the message is amazing. And I got the gist of it, right? And I got most of the message. I could definitely see the message for what I watched. I probably watched about half. My husband wanted to continue watching it, but I had to turn it off because my stomach was very queasy. And I was like, I internalize it, and then I just it's just not good for me. So it wasn't about the message at all, because that was phenomenal. And
super powerful.
Yeah. Didn't you say, was it that movie that got the standing ovation?
Yeah. And so apparently it's a thing at the Cannes Film Festival that they do standing ovations for like certain durations. But Demi Moore and the other actress, which Anna Quigley, I think she's the daughter of Andie MacDowell. Collectively, they got a 13-minute standing ovation, which from what I read was the longest ever.
Wow.
And I mean, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because Demi Moore making that movie was also really powerful. I talked about this with my friend. I mean, we literally talked about this movie for probably 4 days when we were in Copenhagen. We would be sitting there like not thinking about anything or talking at all. And I would be like, so remember that scene where this happened? Like, this meant that. And we were always connecting the dots. I think the fact that Demi Moore starred in the movie was really powerful because she resonates with all of us in terms of our age. And she also was so incredibly beautiful and still is so incredibly beautiful.
Isn't she 60? How old is Demi?
Yeah, and I think she plays that she's turning 50, which is another reason why it resonated, because I'm turning 50 this year.
Yeah.
And basically she turns 50, and the premise of the movie is that she loses her job as a big TV star because the
exercise TV star, like, back in the 80s and 90s where you had the exercise, jazzercise, all fit ladies and DVDs or VHSs. And that's what she was.
Yeah.
Fit, beautiful, young.
Element, of the film, because it was kind of set in modern times, but then she was stuck in the 80s with the old vacuum. It was
very strange.
So many things. Anyways, Dennis Quaid played the, producer, but he represented so many things, right? Yeah. Dennis Quaid represented like men and male society.
He wanted to get her out of there because she was old news.
She was too old. She was old news. And she felt, a lot of her identity was wrapped up in her appearance because she was a TV star, right? So of course that makes sense. And so she had this opportunity to take a drug through the black market that would give her back her youth. And originally she doesn't go do it. She throws the number in the trash. But in a moment of desperation, she decides to do it. And, her whole life changes from there. And of course, I don't want to ruin it, because I do think it's such an important movie that, like, I want my daughter to see it, my 20-year-old daughter. I think my younger daughter could handle it too, because she does like horror movies. She's kind of like, not weird that way. A lot of people like horrors, but she can do it. But I want my husband to see it. I just feel like it's a really important message. And the message is, and at least for me, what resonated the most is, I've not been able to look in the mirror at myself or my body and say anything bad or negative or mean. It's almost like if you watch that movie and then you go back to telling yourself mean things, it missed its complete point. And I think the reason it was so incredibly absurd is because the director felt she had to be that absurd to shake people and get them to stop treating themselves like that, and also get society to stop treating women that way and put so much of their identity in their youth,
Right.
you know, anti-aging products, right? We can't anti-age, by the way. It's
Right.
not possible.
Right.
If we're not aging, then we're dead, right?
Right.
And so,
And we're not dead.
anyways, yeah.
And we're not dead.
And we're not dead. So for me, that movie was definitely an obsession. I highly recommend it, even if it's hard to power through, because the message is so strong. And literally there's messages from the very beginning of the movie until the very end of the movie, the opening scene to the ending scene. There's symbolism, there's metaphors, there's representations of large groups of people, of individual groups of people. There's the part where, you know, she just wants to go back to being herself, and it's so painful. So there's so many scenes that
she can't
resonated.
go back. It's part of the risk that she took when she decided to go down that road of being youthful again.
Yeah, and also the way her younger self treated her older self.
Yeah.
Was also really powerful message, right? Because if you think about it, like, you know, if I look in the mirror and I say, "Oh my God, look at your stomach. Are you kidding me? You have stretch marks. Like, that's so ugly." That's so mean. It's so incredibly mean. But you don't think about that. And then you watch the movie and you see Anna Quigley be mean to Demi Moore, who's the same person. And you can't stand it. You can't stomach it. You're like, why is she so mean? But then, hello, like we do that to ourselves. And that's why, I mean, thank God I watched it, because I really have not looked in the mirror and said, like, sometimes I start to think it and I say, shut up. Just shut up.
Was it a book by chance? Do you know beforehand?
I don't think so.
I think I could read it, but just watching the horror of it was, I mean, it made a visual point, but the message I think could have been maybe portrayed a little bit more milder, for people who can't handle the gory, because it's gory. I think I would say that there's a lot of blood and there's a lot of, So, even being a nurse, everyone's like, you should be able to handle that. No, I actually don't want that. I don't like that. I don't want to be. Or
you could just do what I did and have Pepto-Bismol near you. Many of them.
I don't think it's I don't know. Yeah. So I can't stomach it. But I got through enough to know that the message was powerful, and also you had, mentioned the rest of it and kind of told me what happened. So I mean, if you are a person who can handle that, I think it's a must see for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's important for, like I said, I think they were using the director. She's French, by the way. I read all up about the director and Demi Moore taking the role. And I think she did like an acceptance speech somewhere. And
so she did win. She did win for the role, right?
She did not win. You know who won was the lead of Anora.
Oh, Anora was good too. I forgot about that one.
Mikey, yeah, that's on my list for later. I forget.
But wait a minute, what was her acceptance speech for?
It was for something else. I think she won for the
But for that movie.
What's the one that? Yeah, it happens like there before the Oscars. Is it the Golden Globes?
Oh, Golden Globes I thought were TV.
It's something right before the Oscars.
Okay.
But anyway, she won something, and she's talking about the role, and she says why she took the role, and she even talks about how she did some, plastic surgery, before, because obviously for striptease, she had implants, and she was amazing in striptease. But she talks a lot about, why she chose to do it, and I think I have so much respect for Demi Moore, because I mean, she had to like be naked in a mirror and like examine herself, and that is so. And it was her body, you can tell. And that was, for me, like, she's up there now, man. I have so much respect for her as a woman and as an artist for doing that. I
don't know if it was her body. I'd have to. Neither of their bodies were real. They were definitely.
Well, the girl's body was not. Her breasts were prosthetics.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they were still I mean, Demi Moore probably showed more of her real self because of the aging process, but
Yeah.
I'm
Because
sure
like
there's
she
a lot
definitely
of,
wasn't perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean,
Not that you would
to put
expect
yourself
that,
out
but
there at 60 years old, she said, if you would have told me that I would have been doing this at 60, like this is really the highlight of her career right now in her 60s.
the peak, yeah. And
Yeah,
like she deteriorates and that's her. Like
yeah,
she's got a lot of makeup on. They did win for best makeup, but like she's deteriorating as a person, and that's Demi Moore. Like
yeah,
it's incredible. I
yeah.
I want to see it again now after
I
talking
actually
about it.
read her book. I read her book before this movie came out. And she's had a very, I mean, her mother, the way that she was treated by her mother is absolutely insane. And she also was on the Red Talk Roundtable, Red Talk or something with Jada Pinkett Smith,
Hmm.
and had such, if you can read the book and you can find that clip of her when she was being interviewed, she's so profound in her wisdom as she gets older because she talks a lot about her mother's relationship with her and her mother's relationship with herself. And I think her mom's since passed, but she's a phenomenal person and she's been through a lot. And she grew up very it was a very sad kind of childhood with her mom. So she's
Huh, I
just
didn't know that.
phenomenal. Yeah, it's an exceptional biography. It's really good.
Well, good to
That's
know.
one of the books.
Yeah, I should put that on my reading list then because it did resonate with me. I mean, I kind of grew up with Demi Moore, the Brat Pack, and About
Yeah.
Last Night was a movie that I loved for so long with Rob Lowe, and she was
I
in
loved
Saint Elmo's
Ghost.
Fire. Oh, I loved Ghost.
I loved her hair. I think I cut my hair like that short boy cut when I watched Ghost, and I had the same outfit as her in one of the scenes.
And
So yeah,
Striptease, she was
she's an
phenomenal.
icon.
Yeah,
I agree.
she is an
And for her
icon.
to keep going is beautiful. Wonderful. Love it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it resonated with me, like I said, and that's kind of why I want my daughters to see it and it's also why I'm being more careful the way I talk about my own body in front of my daughters, because the way I look at myself is going to be, it's going to, even if I say my daughters are beautiful, right? And I never say anything about their bodies, they're going to hear what I say about myself. And so it's so important the way I speak about myself out loud. And now, I mean, I really can't do it anymore because all I think about is the movie and me having to like burp my way through it,
Yeah.
literally. And it's like, okay, then it was worth it because now my mindset has completely changed and I cannot say anything besides, you know what? This body has been through a lot. It's been through 4 children and you're taking good care of it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Nobody's got a perfect body. And
No. No.
yeah,
No.
anyways,
That's yeah. So I think it's a great message. Lots
it
of
is a great
messages in
message.
that
Yeah.
one.
So,
Um,
your current obsession on that note.
oh my gosh. So mine aren't really movies. I have a lot of shows. I've been watching Friends and Neighbors, which I think are you up
Mhm.
to date with it too?
Yeah, we just watched
Um,
the last episode.
yes, it's with John Hamm is his name, right? He was in
Mad Men.
Mad Men.
Yeah.
And the other actress, oh, I love her so much. I'm
Amanda
blanking.
Pete.
Amanda Peet. She's been around
Yeah.
forever too. So
Yeah.
it's they were married and they she cheated on him and with his best friend. And so they got divorced, but it goes through this it's friends and neighbors. So it goes through it's about their community, their neighbors, their where they live. He loses his job unexpectedly, and things just start, falling apart for him and for her as well. And there's this one scene that really got me. It was her current boyfriend, so she's actually still with the guy she cheated with, throws her a birthday party, which she doesn't want a birthday party. So she's kind of annoyed that he did this already because she doesn't really like that. So she's kind of getting really drunk and he makes her come up and give a speech. And she just walks up there, takes the microphone, and then she just drops it and she just leaves. And she's like, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't even want to be here. So she runs away and she ends up in the trampoline, and her ex-husband finds her. And I think did they get high? I think they get high. Someone had a joint or something. I
I
don't
think,
remember.
yeah, I think he had a joint in his pocket.
Yeah. So they get high. It's a sweet moment between the two of them.
Right.
And she says she's laying there with him and they're looking at the sky and she says to him, gosh, I got divorced and because I was so angry all the time.
Hmm.
And she goes, and I left you and we're divorced now, but I'm still so angry. And I was like, oh my gosh, she can't get out of it. Like nothing she's doing is making it better for her. And there's just so much into this, the relationship between them two, the marriage, who they were together for so long and they know each
Hmm.
other so well. And she can tell something's going on with him, but he's not being honest with her. And they have two kids. So they're, still trying to raise them. And there's some funny things that go on. I mean, it's actually just a phenomenal show. It's on Apple TV, and I suggest it to everyone. It's a really great watch. I'm just enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. Well, it has a lot of messaging too about um, midlife people in midlife who have a lot of wealth. You know who
Yeah.
my favorite character is? Barney.
Oh my gosh.
The He's so
Yeah.
funny,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know. For me, Barney, I feel like he looks really familiar. I remember. I feel like I saw him in another show or movie or something. But I love his dynamic with his wife.
He's his wealth
Um,
management person, right?
but
Barney?
his
Yeah.
wife is very. It's kind of sad. Like the most recent episode, he has a dialogue with John Hamm. John Hamm on the
Yeah.
golf course,
Yep. And he
and
said, we
he
just have
says,
stuff. We just
"Yeah, we
keep
just
getting
have all
stuff.
this stuff."
We talk about getting
And
more stuff.
mhm,
That's our conversations. And we don't even use the stuff that we have.
yep,
It's
and then
like
we
so
get excited
superficial.
about buying more stuff. Yeah, and it's very materialistic, and it's you know that whole concept of consumerism. It's a very I hate to say it, but it's a very American culture thing. And
Yeah.
I can only say it because I experience, the Greek culture every summer when I go, and it's drastically different there.
Hmm.
Um, and again, I'm on vacation, so I'm seeing it through the eyes of someone on vacation. Um, and they have a different economy than we do, so they can't really afford to have the same level of consumerism. But like, yeah, I mean, like he says that they're remodeling and like they just did a remodel or something like that. Like, why do we have to keep making everything better? And it kind of reminds me of that show Fleischman is in Trouble. Did you ever see that show?
I saw most of it, not all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, great show too, about the same exact thing, like keeping up with the Joneses, like that pressure to keep up with the Joneses. And then there's one part, I think it's in episode 3 or 2, where he says, because he narrates it. I love that. Like he's talking while the show is happening, so you're in his head, and he says all the companies that exist to like humor bored people and like rich people who are middle-aged men who are rich, and they're like golfing or something. But it's just kind of I feel like it's a TV show version. Well, so is White Lotus, but I feel like it's kind of like White Lotus in the sense that it's a satire on how empty you can feel, and even Barney says that I feel so empty. And
Yeah.
how did this happen? How did we get here to where we feel this empty? Um, because wealth can't solve everything, but at the same time, you know, having financial security can help a lot of things. So it's a
And that's
fine
what you
line.
think you're supposed to do. You get married and you get your career and then you have kids and all of a sudden you're 10 years down the road and you're working all the time. Your wife is always alone and raising the kids. And then everyone's got lots of money, but everyone's unhappy, cheating on each other. There was just like, no one was happy. It was just miserable. It's just so sad. And so it's a really great show. It's by Jonathan Trooper. I don't know if any of you out there know who he is, but he's a phenomenal author. He writes books, and the book he
Oh
wrote
yeah.
was This Is Where I Leave You, and it's a movie where they sit Shiva. It's with Jane Fonda. She's the mom, and it's one of my most favorite shows on the planet. Or it's a movie. I'm sorry, my favorite movie.
I feel like I
And
may have seen it.
Oh, I'm sure you have. It Justin Bateman's in it, and it's hysterically moving, emotional, relatable. He's just a fantastic author, and so the fact that he made this or wrote this is amazing. He's just great. So that's my pick, Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV with John Hamm. He's great. I love it.
Yeah, he is great. He is great. And there's a lot of cool messaging in every episode. And the one that you were talking about where they're on the trampoline, because I was trying
Yeah.
to find that scene, since
Yeah.
I knew we were going to be talking about it today. And the name of that episode is called Literal Dragons.
Mm.
So there's lots of meaning in every episode, and
Yeah.
I'm all about like the hidden meaning in show titles and, the parts of shows where they get deep and real with each other. And I think that's why I like Barney, because I think Barney fundamentally is a good person and he feels really in over his head and he doesn't know how to talk to his wife and say, hey, this is kind of a lot for us. Like, do we
Why
really
do we
need to
need
keep
the, yeah.
trying? Yeah. Can we just like slow down? It's getting a little hard. And those conversations should be allowed even in wealthy
Well, I
families.
think he tried to talk about it like with her, and she said, "Why are we in trouble?"
Oh, right. And then
And
he
so
didn't
he
want to
didn't
admit
want to, say like, "Yeah, we're in trouble," or he didn't want to look like he was failing as a provider.
it. Uh-huh.
And then also, her parents came to visit and make him feel awful. They think he's the biggest loser, and
Yeah.
look at what he's provided for them. So
Hmm.
he almost burns down the construction because he was like,
Yeah.
this is not where I want to be. They make him feel so shameful. Remember the
Yeah. And that's
mom
such a
gave him a
telling
check.
scene
Did you
too.
see
And
that part? The mom
which
wrote
part?
him a $1 million check.
Oh, yeah.
His
Yeah. And
mother-in-law.
well, and that part was really telling too, because at the end of the show, remember the next day they're like at a shooting range for golf. And that night that the construction almost burned down, that was the same night that John Hamm got into some trouble, like,
Oh
right?
yeah, yes.
And so they both had crazy nights, right? And I think John Hamm was like, so how was your night last night? And he was like, oh, it was fine. How was yours? Oh, fine. So that's telling too, right? The fakeness of it all. And then of course the last episode they finally get real with each other, but they've also been drinking, they've been snorting cocaine.
Yeah, yeah. But
Absolutely wild.
yeah, they probably won't remember it, but yeah,
No, no. But anyways, yeah,
it's
I agree. It's a great show.
yeah. Okay. Do you have
So,
another show?
so the other thing that I love is, I'm sure so many people love this. So White Lotus, all 3 seasons. I've seen season 1 and 2, so have you, and you watched part of season 3, right?
Yeah.
How far did you get in season 3?
Almost the second episode is done almost.
Okay. So season 3 took me a while to start watching because a lot of people told me it wasn't as good as the other 2 seasons. But then I had a friend who I'm really close to tell me, I think it's worth it. You need to try and give it a shot, but just know it's slow building. So you might not be hooked from the first couple of episodes, but just keep going. And said I was like, okay, I trust her advice. Her recommendation is usually pretty solid. She was the one who recommended Fleischman is in Trouble, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I powered through and watched it, and she was totally right. By episode 4, you're pretty hooked. And what I liked about this season was, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son is in it
Yeah.
as
Mm-hmm.
Saxon, and he did a great job. And then Parker Posey is, I don't even remember her name in the show. Do you remember her name?
No, but I like her.
I call her Lorazepam.
Is her name Pam? It should have been Pam.
Lorazepam. Where's my Lorazepam? She's just so funny. You want to move to Taiwan? Like she was my favorite character for sure.
But
So the
honestly, I
characters,
envy her a little bit. Like, can't we
yeah,
all just walk around with our lorazepams and just go and
and
float
be
through
open.
life and just, yeah, whatever, you know, don't give a fuck.
Her little umbrella. She's walking around the the resort with her little umbrella. So I loved her. I loved all the characters. They were quirky, and what my husband noted at the end of the season, he said they were all healed by Buddhism in the end. And
Mm.
I was like, I didn't even catch that. So I love it when somebody catches something that I don't catch because I'm always so like, ooh, I want to get all the underlying meanings. So White Lotus for me this season, even though it was so different from season 1 and 2, and I still love probably season 1 the most, I did end up liking it in the end. The characters, my other friend was like, "You kind of miss like hanging out with the characters every week," and I said, "Yeah, totally. I miss hanging out with all the characters. They were wild." And the one actress with the like bunny teeth, I forget her name, Amy Lee Lou Wood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's adorable. She was one of my favorite characters for sure. She's the romantic, she just
Yeah.
wanted everything to be the way she idealized it in her head. And I don't know.
And she was just
It was
so appreciative of everything, like being there in
Mhm.
that beautiful place and let's take advantage and trying to get her boyfriend to do that
Who was a total
counseling,
jerk,
who was a
prick.
total jerk. But again, I think I'm gonna have to finish it because now that you're saying all of this, I feel like I kind of know I'm getting to know the characters a little bit more. But
Yeah,
I think
and it does build slowly. So I
all of
feel
them
like,
kind of do,
yeah,
all of the seasons. But they're so good by the end. You're just like, wow, did that really just happen?
yeah. Especially season 2. Season 2 was wild. I
That one
loved
was
the end of
wild.
season 2. It
But
was great.
also the gentleman from season two is in season three.
Yeah, and he's great too.
So
And so
I'm
is one
interested to
from
see how
season
that pans
1.
out.
Yeah, Belinda from season 1. Is it season 1? Yeah, Belinda from season 1 is in season 3.
What is she in
Do you remember
two?
Belinda? I think she was season 1
The
because she was
massage therapist?
the massage therapist that from Hawaii, right?
Which I don't know if she was in one because I don't remember, but she was in two because she recognizes that guy from who was with that lady.
Well, that's in 3. She recognizes the guy because he was in season 1 and he was in season 2 and now he's in season
Oh,
3.
okay. All right. All right. I didn't realize she was in season one and either was he. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Tanya meets, what's his name? I forget. Tanya meets that guy at the end, well, like halfway through season 1, and that's why she kind of pulls away from Belinda's idea to have the massage like
That's
business
right. Okay.
because she gets distracted by the
Him.
guy.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Season two is wild. I'm sorry. That one was wild.
it was so fun. All right, how about guilty pleasure?
So I think Younger is my guilty pleasure. I've watched it twice now. The entire, I think it's three seasons. Is it three?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Maybe even
Um,
4.
yeah, I just have to say, so Younger is on Netflix.
Originally, it was on
I
like
think it's on Netflix
some
or Amazon.
yeah, it was on some random small network, but now Netflix got it, and so people have been watching it again, I think.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it must have been come back out or something. But it's a really feel-good series. It's about Liza Miller, a 40-year-old newly single mom who reinvents herself as a 26-year-old to land a job in New York. So basically, no one would give her a job. She hadn't had any experience, but she was in the is it marketing or editing, publishing world before
Yeah,
she
like
had her daughter.
publishing. Hmm.
Yeah. And then if you're lying, things just start to unfold.
Snowball.
But the characters are awesome. Kelsey, so she befriends all these people in her workplace that are 26, and she runs a millennial like publishing. Is it a? I guess it's
Like
a
a
portion of the
yeah, like
publishing house that's dedicated
yeah.
to younger readers.
Hmm.
So she has all this wisdom of a 40-year-old, but she's acting as a 26-year-old, and she's phenomenal in the show. And then she falls in love with the publisher, owner of the company, who
Charles.
Charles, he does not know she's 40, and he has an ex-wife that gets all crazy, but she's phenomenal. Her outfits are fun. Oh, and her love interest that is 26
Yeah.
is hot.
I was waiting. It wasn't is James, right?
Is it James? I can't remember, but
He's
he's
so
hot. The
cute.
tattoo artist. So she falls in love
So
with this
cute.
tattoo artist too.
Hmm.
And her friends from where she was raising her daughter. They all see her with this young guy, and they're like, "What is going on?" And I don't know. It's so good.
It's a
It's
great
just warm
show.
and fuzzy, and so I've watched it twice now, all the seasons. That's my guilty pleasure. I just get so
And
sad when it's over.
her boss is really great too. The
Oh
actress.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Diana.
Oh my gosh, she's the best. She's so funny. She's like always cranky, always in a bad mood, but like you love her personality. She adds so much to the show.
She
I
dresses to the
absolutely love her.
nines. Yeah. Her
Yes.
style is
Yes. And you end
epic.
up loving her in the end because she has a very sweet, like she's kind of like a the her bark is worse than her bite,
Yeah.
right? Is that the
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's she's awesome. I love her.
And it's just
Um
fitting. It's
yeah.
just fitting too with ageism and being a mom and deciding to be home and
Mhm.
dedicate your time to your family. And then shit happens in your marriage and she finds herself having to care for her, trying to get a job. And
Yep.
everyone's trying to hire her is 26 years old saying, "Where have you been?" And
Yeah, you're
she's
too
got
old.
more wisdom and experience than any of them who are hiring her. So it's a great show. Highly recommend that one.
Yeah, it is a great show. I love that one.
But you'll want to binge watch it, so just give yourself a whole weekend.
I know because you just want to do one after the other. And I think they're kind of short, right? Are they like 30 minutes long?
Yeah, about.
Yeah, so it makes it easy to kind of binge. Um, all right, so what I've been binging is okay, so recently Twilight came on Netflix and I had never seen it. And I'm not a fantasy type person at all. I don't like watching things about vampires. I don't know why. I've just never been into it. But my daughter said, "Hey, let's watch Twilight together." And I said, "Okay, like I guess we can give it a shot, you know?" And I was really like half watching the first episode, not really super into it. And then not episode, movie. Then we watched the second one and I definitely got hooked and we watched all of them. And so now I am watching Vampire Diaries with her. So my guilty pleasure right now has been Vampire Diaries because after that she's like, if you liked Twilight, you would love Vampire Diaries. She watched the whole thing. So we started that. We're in season 1, episode, I don't know. We watch like one episode a day. It's kind of our time together. And it's a guilty pleasure because I've never been into fantasy or vampires or any of that. But it's also kind of fun and it
Yeah.
is like not real in any way, but the witch element, also the vampires being different in Twilight versus Vampire Diaries, like that's kind of fun. And my daughter's like, no, in Vampire Diaries the vampires are like this, but in Twilight they're like this. And then there's the wolves, and no, the werewolves, and but in Vampire Diaries there's witches, and it's kind of fun. It's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's great to just check out and hang out with my daughter and watch something like the Vampire Diaries at this age. I should have watched this
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah. Well, I read the books, Twilight, and watched the movies. And what were you, team Jacob or?
Well, here's the funny part. In the movie, I was definitely Team Jacob, like from start to finish.
Yeah.
But now I'm also reading Twilight
Yeah.
and I'm having a different feeling. Like I like Edward so far, but I haven't interacted much with Jacob because in the books they don't introduce Jacob right away versus in the movies he's introduced like from the get-go.
Yeah.
But in the book, it's like I'm like halfway through and they just introduced Jacob. So I have to get to know him more in that way. But yeah, it's
I
interesting
think
how
you're
much.
probably right. I think because in the movies, Jacob, in my opinion, is more handsome than Edward, but in your imagination in the book, I think Edward seems much more attractive than Jacob.
Well, he has a lot of intrigue, right? He's
Yeah.
interesting as a character. He's got so much going on. I mean, he's a vampire.
Right.
But Jacob is a werewolf, so they're both really interesting. I don't know. I fell in love with the movies. I couldn't believe that I never in my life watched them, and I always was kind of like, I don't like fantasy, or whatever I was thinking, or I don't believe in vampires, or I don't like to watch stuff about like vampires and witches and werewolves. And now I'm just sad that I didn't watch it before. And also Stephanie Meyer, who wrote the Vampire Diaries, when she wrote that, not the Vampire Diaries, Twilight, she was 29.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? 29. That's mind blowing to me because I always think in my head, oh, authors have to be like in their 40s, 50s, 60s because they have to have experienced life so much in order to write about it.
No,
At least
all you
that's
need
what I
is an
was told.
imagination. All you need is imagination.
Yeah.
And young kids probably have so much, right? Especially these days with all the things you can think up and do and digital and yeah. That
Yeah.
but in the 20s is I mean, my kids can't even like no, they would never be able to write a book. On me in my 20s,
Well,
there's no way I could put if I didn't have to be in school, there's no way I was writing.
yeah.
But you, on the other hand, need to write your book.
Yeah. Well, I have an update on that, but we'll get to that later because that's actually on my list. So next, let's go to um let's see here.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to our
Um
books.
oh yeah, you want to do books and then we can yeah, that's actually perfect. Let's switch to books because then I can talk about some I actually have some of them in front of me too so I can show them.
Well, I think we probably just have time for I can talk about the other ones in June, but I just finished All Fours by Miranda July.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to think about this one still. I'm very conflicted. Um, I, 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 I'm just still processing it. It's definitely about midlife. It's definitely about this woman who's supposed to be going on a 2 week trip, road trip in a car to New York. She's from LA.
Hmm.
And she doesn't go. And she pretends the whole time that she's there. She's married and has a child. She goes to Pasadena, I think it's Pasadena, something like that, and gets a hotel room and stays there for 2 weeks. Gets the hotel room completely renovated, pays like $20,000 and renovates the entire place, and it's beautiful. In this like not even a nice hotel. So she makes it this just getaway for her. And it's almost like she's thinking back on her life as a wife and a mother and somewhere lost herself and she's not her true self anymore. And so she decides to experiment with a lot of different things going on in this book. Um, so I don't want to give it all away, but it's she also had an aunt and a grandmother who committed suicide about this age that she's approaching. And so I
Hmm.
think she talks a lot about that, about why they did it. Was, she has like a panic attack because of the age it's approaching. And she's worried that that's something that she's going to feel needs to happen to her because she doesn't know what to do at this point in her life. There's a lot of clarity and there's a lot of confusion, and she just literally just lays it out there. So there's no filter about what she's thinking at all. And so it's an audiobook for me because I drive a lot. So also the author's voice is very mundane and there's not a lot of excitement in it. So
Hmm.
it's a
Is
book you
it
have to
read by the
finish.
author?
I don't think so, but I honestly
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure. So it's something that I think got a lot of reviews, and I'm not quite
It was
sure
super
why.
popular.
Actually, it's not one of my top tens, and but I finished it because I just needed to know how it ended. But the ending was okay. It was okay. But it was recommended by someone that thought it was a brilliant book. So I don't know what to say about it. I just wanted to talk about maybe I just missed the whole thing about it, but it's very interesting.
No, I have my close and dear friend who I went to Copenhagen with, she also read All Fours and she finished it and I asked her like it was so hard to get like on the library the holds were like you couldn't get it for like a year.
What?
But she was like I don't know and I was saying maybe I should just buy it and then she said, "You know what? I don't And she knows my taste really well. So she's like, I don't know if you're going to like it. She's like, I finished it because I kind of felt like you said, like she kind of wanted to know how it ended. But she felt like it was almost too out there. And she found the lead character to be kind of hard to relate to.
Yeah.
And she also thought the story was just random.
It was random, but it was all over the place. So at some points I was like, wait, did she just skip? Who's talking or who's she talking about? And I was very confused in some spots too. And yeah, and it's, she's married, but she wants to explore her sexuality.
Yeah.
And then they step into a different type of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so they
Like
have
an
to,
open marriage?
yeah, but then, but she actually, I'm not quite sure if she wants to be with women or she wants to be with just sexual experiences just with anybody, because the one a sexual experience, she actually had a relationship in those 2 weeks with a younger man, um but they never did anything sexual, but it was a very close, it was interesting. Like I said, it's just but very bizarre. All the things are bizarre. So
Mm-hmm.
if you like bizarre and you want to figure it out, then I think it's a good, interesting read. But it wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. You've got to read it.
Mm-hmm. And it won a lot of like book awards, right? I feel like it was so highly recommended. It's interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know. Sometimes
not
not
for me.
all, yeah, sometimes not all books that are highly acclaimed are, and sometimes the books that you love are not highly acclaimed. And I feel like it's not really fair. Like I love the author Christina Lauren. It's actually two best friends who write together. One is Christina something and the other one is Lauren something. So they combine their names and they write together. I love their books. I mean, are they like literary, award-winning books? Probably not, but I like them and I think they're funny and the characters are quirky but like relatable. And so I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the books that win a lot of things aren't necessarily the easiest to digest.
Well, I also too, you resonate with certain characters, right? Like for me, this was the things I understood about her was the midlife part, and that was
Yeah.
relatable, and the uncertainty of things and looking back on your life. I get all that. But some of the other things I'm not in that place. And so it was hard for me to relate to it. And it was just a lot of confusing thoughts that she would just have all the time. So but yeah, people could love that. So who am I to say? I don't know. It just wasn't for
Yeah.
me.
Well, um, maybe we should talk about the things that we want to consume in June. That way we can kind of go back to them. So what are some things that are on your list that you want to read or watch or movies you want to see? Anything?
So last night I looked up, I think it was like the top 100 shows from Apple TV.
Okay.
And there was, oh my gosh, I can't remember it. There's one called Cha Cha something, and I started watching it last night. So I'm gonna start going down that list. And I like ones that are not so popular, but get, awards for silent awards, like in the background. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie Coda from Apple TV. Did you ever see that?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it was really good.
Oh, it's excellent. So it's the story of a hearing impaired family, and Ruby is the only one that is not deaf in the family. And it's the story of her and trying to, like, grow up and grow on. And it's hard because she's the one that communicates for her family. And it's so I remember just bawling my face off at the end. So I'm looking more into a lot of Apple TV shows and movies that are on like the top 100 list.
Okay, so I have Sirens on Netflix.
Mm.
So I came across that well, it has Julianne Moore in it, and I love her. And it has the actress Megan, and I can't remember her last name, but she was on White Lotus season 2. She's the one who was married to Theo James.
Oh
Really
yeah, yeah.
pretty. She's
She's
also in,
beautiful. Hmm.
I love her. She was also in that movie, The Perfect Couple, not the movie, the series, The Perfect Couple. So Sirens is one. It's kind of like a satire on I think like Rich Couples or something or another like that. And they said, oh, if you liked White Lotus, you would probably like this. So I had that down.
Is it drama
Another
or
one is
is it
another, I think
comedy?
it's a drama. I
Okay.
think it's a drama. And like I said, I love anything with Julianne Moore. She usually, like when she's in something, it's pretty much guaranteed that I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
Um, and then Another Simple Favor, that's probably a guilty pleasure. Did you ever see A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick and
I didn't.
Blake
Is it
Lively?
good? I love Blake
So good.
Lively, or I used to.
I know. Things have happened.
Yeah.
Um, did you see her movie with him?
Yeah.
Did
It
you
was
like it?
excellent. Yeah. I read the book too. I think it
So
was
did I.
I thought it was a great portrayal of the book. I loved it.
Me too.
Hmm.
Me too. I thought it was really, really good. I had no idea it was going to elicit so much like
Yeah. Drama.
drama after. And it's
Yeah.
like crazy what's happening.
I know. It's kind of
Do you have like
unfortunate.
any opinions either way?
I just, you never know what goes on behind closed doors, and the media can be very mean to both people, and
Hmm.
it could just be a big hoax trying to get more attention. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Who knows? Uh, who knows?
Yeah, well, they made another one, Another Simple Favor. I loved A Simple Favor, so the fact that they made Another Simple Favor, I'm like, okay, I got to see that. The other one is We Were Liars, and that comes out
Mm.
this summer, and that was a really popular young adult book. And I saw a like trailer for it, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great movie.
We Were Liars.
We Were Liars, and then the last one is a romantic comedy, I think. The Idea of You with Anne Hathaway, and I love Anne Hathaway.
Oh, it's so good. I've seen it.
You have?
Yes. It's
Oh, I
excellent.
can't wait to see it.
Excellent movie.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited it's on my list.
Yeah.
So that's well, and then for books, I should say my books. I'm going to be teaching the book Scythe, Scythe, next year. I'm piloting it in one of my classes. I had the opportunity to pilot some books and I looked at the list, and Scythe is one that my older daughter read and loved. She like devoured it. It's
Okay.
dystopian, and I usually shy away from dystopian books because I feel like they're very predictable. But
What
then
does
like some are,
dystopian mean?
it's like, a distorted reality. So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
opposite of like a perfect world. It would be like a imperfect world. But they always follow like patterns. But so do romantic comedies, right? Like they follow patterns too. But because I decided to give Twilight a chance and then Vampire Diaries, I'm like, if I'm being open-minded, I should teach Scythe and I should read it. So that's on my list to read this summer because I'm teaching it. But I'm so glad you loved The Idea of You because I kind of want to watch it tonight now.
Yeah, you should. It's beautiful. It's a really sweet story. Very sweet
Aw,
story. Yeah.
and I love Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Um, Also, Brooke Shields is not allowed to get old. Have you seen that? It's like all over Instagram.
No.
It's a
Is that a book?
memoir. Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of
Yeah,
cool to watch or to read. Yeah. I think people give her a hard time.
they definitely give her a
She
hard
was
time.
just in a
Like,
movie it was a movie about her daughter getting married, and
oh,
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, she's always relevant. So I think that's probably a good title, actually.
well, you know, they say the same thing about that one actress that was in Stranger Things. I never watched that show. Did you ever watch that show, Stranger
No, I
Things?
didn't. Mm-mm.
I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but it was so big, right? And the what
Yeah.
was her name? Billy something. She was the young one. She was like 12 or whatever, and now she's in her 20s. And she was on Instagram talking about how people are so mean to her just for getting older. And she's like in her 20s. It's like you can't
It's
freeze
because
people.
right, and people see you in a certain thing, and like that's it. You're in
Mhm.
that little bubble. There's nowhere else you can go. You can't grow. You can't be. That this is you. Like they don't understand.
They say some really mean things to Brooke Shields. I saw her on Instagram in a post like promoting her book, and there were all these like little like screenshots of things that people had said about her appearance, her aging. Wow, she's aging really badly, and
Oh
like a
wow.
bunch of things. And the bubble would come down, and she would swat it, and then another one would come down, and she would swat it, and then and then there would be a bunch of them all together, and she would just go like that, and then she showed her book. So I feel like I kind of want to read it now. I want to support her effort to age. I mean, like
I mean,
without
do we ever do that to men?
never. We always say they age so well.
It's interesting.
I mean, sometimes they do. I mean, look at Patrick Dempsey. God, he was such a dork in Can't Buy Me Love in the
Hmm.
80s. And
Yeah.
now he's so freaking hot every year. I'm like, how does he get better every year?
And
That's
Rob Lowe,
crazy.
he's
Ah,
like 60. He's Demi
and
Moore
Sean
his age.
Connery.
Uh, I haven't seen
Sean
him
Connery
lately.
is nice looking. And who else? Well, Michael Douglas now has kind of gray hair, but he's still handsome. Kevin Costner,
Yeah.
Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They all age
yeah.
better than, I don't know. Yes. So there's definitely a little cliche there with women aging in Hollywood and men aging in Hollywood because men don't age, but women do.
Which takes us back to the substance, by the way.
Yeah. Full circle there.
Full
Yeah.
circle moment with our media edit for May. So anything else we want to bring up? Because now we know, like, we have to revisit these things. So, like, come June, I'm going to be revisiting. Oh, I didn't talk about
Sirens
Anora.
and We Were Liars.
Did you see Anora?
Yes.
Did
I
you
did
love
see
it?
Anora. Love it. It was sad. It was desperately sad. It was a
It was
great
definitely sad.
it was a great movie, but it's not like a blockbuster. It's one of those like indie movies that you just need to
Hmm.
see because the
Yeah.
message was so it was so good because this poor exotic dancer just
Yeah.
they just treated her like shit.
They took advantage of her so bad. And I did think the acting was so good, including the lead across from her. He was really young, like 21 or something.
Yeah.
He did
But
a great
even
job.
the bodyguards or whoever they were, I don't even know what to
They
call
were
them.
great.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was so sweet.
Yeah. He got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that.
Oh, he did?
Did he won? Did he win? I don't think he won. It won, I want to say 5 or 6 Oscars. I think it won the most Oscars of any like movie of all time or something like that. It
Really?
was crazy. Yeah, it got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Editing. And what was the fifth one? I think maybe he did get Best Supporting. No, I don't think he got Best Supporting Actor. It was something else. 5 different things that movie
Anora,
won.
Anora, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it,
I'm
it was
making
it
that.
was
Is it
really
Mikey Madison?
lots of
Mikey
sex in
Madison.
it, which is,
Hmm.
great.
Well, in the
But
beginning, it got better,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people get turned off from that in the very beginning, but there's so much more to it. Um,
Yeah, and you have to just kind of get past that. You're like, oh, it's
yeah,
just going to be about a stripper and sex. No, it gets pretty deep, and the message by the end, you're just like, oh,
the ending was. I started crying.
I
Of
did too.
course, it's pretty much a guarantee. I was gonna cry. Yeah, I was
I
totally
did too.
crying on the plane
Yeah.
in front of everybody. But yeah, it was great. Well, okay. So, what are you gonna consume? You mentioned your list from Apple TV. Any like books that you're gonna read?
Um, so my books, there's some that I need to talk about that we don't have time for today, so I'm gonna just push it to June. So if anyone wants to read, what is it? Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna is
Oh, that's the
one.
one you've recommended to me.
Oh my gosh. I have thought about that book, I feel like every single day since I put it down and finished it. And that was probably years ago. So, The Great
That's
Alone by
very
Kristen
telling.
Hanna. We'll talk about that.
I should
Let's
take that
get
with
some
me.
readers
Yeah.
to read it if you read it. Also, the other one is I can't remember the name of it, where she has a heart attack and then she leaves her
Oh,
family.
you've told me about that one too. And also, you had Pretty Girls on your list.
Oh my God, Pretty Girls. I mean, if you like murder, mystery, twisted, crazy, unexpected turns, Pretty Girls is. And it's by Karen Slaughter, which her last name is so brilliant as an author for that movie. You're gonna be like, what did they even recommend if you start reading this? It's horrifically sad and brutal. And how does a person even come up with the dialogue to put in a book with this with this. It's just, sometimes I just thought, how does a person think this twisted? But her last name, Karen Slaughter, brilliant for this book. Pretty girls.
That kind of reminds me of Gone Girl. Did you read Gone Girl?
Yeah. But this is
The same
way more
thing.
twisted.
Okay, because
I
Gone Girl was
mean,
like,
times 10.
okay, yeah,
Times 10. It is sickening to your stomach because of what actually happens in it. Like, you viscerally have reaction to it, but it's a phenomenal book. I can't even
okay. Well, I'm
imagine
gonna
how
have
someone
to.
can write that. So
Yeah, right. You're like, how do you? Is she married? Does her husband sleep next to her at night?
that would be like,
Does he have a
honey,
knife under the
how
pillow?
did you even come up with this?
Right? You know he's not double crossing her or saying anything because he's like freaking afraid of her.
Oh yeah, no, hell no. It's pretty unbelievable. A
Has she
gripping
written anything else?
psychological thriller. That's what it is. Gripping.
Has she written anything else? I feel like God, the title is so familiar, but like I'm trying
Well,
to.
there's All the Pretty Girls. I think there's another one. All the Pretty Girls is another one. So
Oh,
this one is Pretty Girls, and All the Pretty Girls is a different one. It's, I think, a murder mystery as well.
okay. I think I may have read that one. Well, okay. I mean, I'm glad that you're sharing these with me because I'm going to need some things to read this summer, and how exciting to have some great recommendations because I'm definitely not going to read all fours, by the way.
I mean,
I'm going to
honestly,
read the other two.
it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I feel bad saying that.
No, it's
Just not for me, but it might someone else. Hey, if someone loved it, please tell me what you loved about it. Because maybe I'm just
yeah.
missing some things. I'm open to hearing others' viewpoints because I don't know it all. So
Yeah. I have two friends that loved it, and I actually was trying to get it after then. And then after my dear friend said, I don't know if you're going to like it. And then after your review, I was like, because, like you said, sometimes it's just not for everyone. And also because I'm an English teacher too, I kind of sometimes steer away from like literary stuff. I know that sounds terrible, but I have to teach the classics. So for me, I can't consume Great Expectations and Frankenstein as much as I love it, and all the other texts that I have to teach, and then do that for fun at home too. You know what
no,
I mean?
no. You want
It's
to,
just
well, and also this is because we want to go home after our busy days and literally not think.
yeah,
Entertain me and take me on a really cool ride of not my
yeah, just
reality, not my reality, anything
yeah.
opposite. But
Well,
Friends and
that's why I
Neighbors
love
is a little close to home, but it's
it. Is
still phenomenal.
That's why I love my Twilight.
Yes, that is definitely not reality. That's
Nope,
great.
nope, nope. And I have. Oh, by the way, do they explain the apple or no?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think so. By the way,
Because
we do need
I'm
to
like,
talk about really quickly sex life.
oh my God. You go first because I think you recommended it to me, and I
I mean,
was
I recommend it to every single person on the planet because especially if you're married or if you're not, if everyone should watch Sex Life. It's so good. I don't even know. I can't even talk about why. There's so many reasons. The sex one, the good-looking people, the storyline, how
the
she
storyline.
feels, um, what she does. She changes her whole life, her past, just everything is so good. And then they have a second season, not as good by any means, but at the very least, everyone in the world
Yeah.
on the planet should watch that first season of Sex Life.
Well, and her husband
Absolutely.
too. So what resonated for me with season one was her husband was a good guy, and it was really
Yeah,
hard to not like him. And I
right.
don't think that was the idea. The idea wasn't that you disliked her husband, but he was very dismissive of her,
Yeah.
and not like the way you would think, not so much that you didn't like him. Like, he was a good father and he was a good husband, but he was dismissive of her needs as a woman, like, who was sexual, because I think she was maybe a little more sexual than he was, and maybe he was just wrapped up with work and life and all the things.
But he also
But
looked at her now as a mother, which she didn't want to be looked at as a mother anymore. She
Yeah.
still wanted to like be sexual.
She missed being desired.
Yeah.
She missed being desired. And she missed being desirable.
And she missed her
And
ex a lot.
yeah, because they connected sexually. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
But it was,
really good show.
it's a really good show. The only problem is you cannot watch it with young children because I would be watching an episode
No.
and like every 5 minutes there's a sex scene, right?
Yeah. Hmm. But like blow your mind sex scene.
She was like insatiable. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, again in the elevator. Come on. There's like people in the elevator. Like,
It's so good. It's so good. So everyone has to watch Sex Life.
yeah, Sex Life was great. It was great. I couldn't watch it like downstairs. I had to go upstairs and watch it. And people would come in and they'd be like, what are you watching? I'm like, oh my God, get out. I'm like legal. I'm allowed to watch this stuff.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, and Baby Girl.
Baby Girl. I loved Baby Girl so much. So you talk about it first because you saw it more recently than I did. I saw it in the theater with my daughter, by the way, my older daughter. Let's
Oh,
confirm.
wow.
Yeah.
So I watched it with my husband. It was very erotic. And I think Nicole Kidman is a phenomenal actress. I just don't love her. But I still loved the movie. And
Hmm.
the takeaway was so much from that too. It's just like women are sexual. We have
Hmm.
needs. And it was really, I mean, it's very sexual. But she's married
I
and
loved,
again, she's going outside of her marriage and fight because she was not satisfied sexually in her marriage.
no.
I think one of the scenes is she had to tell her husband, "I've never had an orgasm with you, ever."
Yep. And
And
her husband, when you loved him, though, that's the thing. I loved that part of the movie
yeah,
because you didn't, you loved him. It was Antonio Banderas, and he was such a great husband, and he cared about her. You could tell he really did love her. So I
yeah.
loved how they made that. You know, they didn't make him someone you didn't like, and I mean, the story is crazy, Baby Girl. But it was erotic. I loved it, and the lead character, what's his name, Harrison Dickinson or something like
Oh
that.
my God, I don't even know how he could do that. She's twice his age.
He was so sexy. I'm sorry. I think he's like 28, so I guess that makes me a cougar, but oh my God. I couldn't like bear it. I'm like, I loved his confidence. I
Yeah,
loved his confidence. It was so incredibly sexy.
I agree.
Confidence is so sexy.
I agree.
Ugh,
Yeah, it was. But yeah, so Baby Girl and Sex Life, yeah, those are very erotic, but must have. You must have that in your
yes.
Netflix. I
I
think it's
guess we could call
Netflix.
those guilty pleasures.
Those are guilty pleasures. Yes. Okay. So what are we going to do? Rapid fires?
Yeah, let's do rapid fires and also do a little teaser for what we have coming up. Because we have some cool things
Um,
coming up before we break for summer. Well, not break for summer, but you know.
I'll just do this one. What's your favorite where do you like your favorite reading spot?
Oh, I love this question. So recently I had a Peloton and I didn't use it as much as I was hoping. Well, I got it during COVID and it was great then, but I would do the spin bike and I would be hungry all day, like all day. And I'm like, why am I so freaking hungry? Because I was spinning and it was a great workout, but I was using it less and less. And my husband was like draping his clothes on it. And I'm like, this is terrible. So we listed it on Facebook. And with the money that we made off of the sale of the Peloton, I literally went to Costco and I found a cute, cozy chair and a lamp. And I bought both. We came home. They were already assembled. We put them together. And that is my new, I call it my throne, but it's where I go and I read, I chill, I relax, I work on the podcast. But what's nice is it's not in bed with my husband because sometimes I'll, move or have a light on and he'll be trying to sleep. So I have my own space now for reading.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's taking care of my like parasympathetic nervous system is being in that room and just reading and having my time.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I do the audiobook, so it's in the car.
Mm.
Because I drive a lot, so I'm always listening to something, whether it's that or a podcast. So in the car, I think in bed I'm usually just lights out or binge watching something. lately.
Speaking of podcasts, have you heard of that one called Dying for Sex about the woman who was diagnosed with terminal 4 breast cancer?
No.
Yeah, so she was diagnosed with terminal 4 breast cancer and she decides to leave her unhappy marriage and have the last like year of her life having sex with whoever she wants.
Is
It's
she still doing that?
I think she passed away. It's a true story.
Oh, wow.
And Netflix made a show about it, or Hulu. I think it was Hulu. And Michelle Williams stars in it. And so I started it yesterday
Oh,
because I'm like,
I saw the previews.
yeah, it's a
Wow.
podcast. I started listening
Yes,
to it. It's great.
that's wonderful. What's it called again?
Dying for Sex. What a great name, right?
Yeah, Dying for Sex. That's a good one. I'll have
Yeah.
to
So
watch it too.
yeah. That's a podcast. So that's another one to put on your list.
Okay.
I can't find the rapid fire, so you're gonna have to do the next one. I think I must have ran out of printer
Yeah,
paper.
I don't know if that was a rapid fire, but we're good on that. So what's coming up? We have next guest. Who's our next guest? That's next
So
week.
our next guest is the owner. Well, I love this guest because found her kind of through a 6 degree separation thing, but I know that she's wanted to do this endeavor for a really long time, and she made the bold move and did it. So she wanted to open up a yoga studio for years, and she's in her mid 40s. I'm not sure exactly how old she is, but she finally did it. It's not even been a year, and she opened up a yoga studio called Fire and Flow Yoga, and it's doing really well. And she has agreed to be be a guest on our show. And I'm very excited to hear her story and to hear how it's going and how yoga really helped shape her life and how she had the, balls to do this, to start a yoga
Yeah.
studio, you know?
Yeah, I'd like to hear her story too, because a lot of women who listen are in that stage where, oh, I've always wanted to do that,
Mhm.
but now is the time. So
Yeah,
if we can
totally.
give anyone some inspiration on how others are doing it, then I
Yeah.
mean, now's the time. You only get to live one time. Just go out and do it. If it's feasible
Yeah.
financially and it makes sense, just take a risk and do it. Because you
Yeah.
only live one time. This is all we get. One
Yep.
shot.
YOLO. YOLO. And I mean, obviously, when you're opening up a business, you're taking a risk, So I'm
Mhm.
just happy to see that it's going well, and I'm eager to hear like how it all came to be. I love connecting dots and hearing
Is this the
people's.
one in Oceanside?
Yeah,
So, and also we can be a support for her and support her growing business too.
yes,
And
definitely.
community, bring a
Because
community around her.
yeah, for sure. And yoga has been such a great like addition to my wellness routine lately, and it's so funny because after she agreed to be on the show, I went on to Maps and I'm like, how far is her studio from here? Because now I kind of want to go and try it out,
Yeah, I can
because
meet
it's,
you there.
yeah, I think we should do it. And we should do it like we did Madhouse. It was like 35 minutes for me.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think we should do it.
Yeah, it's probably about 45 with no traffic for me. I'll do it.
All right. Well, it'd be fun to do it. Maybe, I mean, if we can manage it before we meet with her, if not, maybe like right after we meet with her. I
Yeah,
think that would be great.
hot yoga.
Yeah, hot yoga, and we can Instagram it and share our story and, you
Yeah.
know,
If anyone else is in San Diego, let us know because if you want to join us, that'd be great.
oh my gosh, yeah, we could go with like a tribe,
Yeah.
a CMS tribe.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's what's coming up. And otherwise, until next time, we new episodes launch on Monday mornings. And this
Yes.
one will be next Monday, right? What's today? Oh, today's Monday. So the next
Today's
Monday.
Monday. Yeah. So this will go live. I guess we just had an episode go live today with Coach Sasha, which is great. So yeah, this will go live next Monday. I'm out of town. So this is great because now we have something for when I'm traveling. And we need to sign off with our stay. So what do you want to do for stay? We always end with stay curious and stay crazy, but we can shake things up. What do you want to do for this
Stay
one?
inspired.
I love that.
Like just get inspired by what you read or by what we
Mhm.
our recommendations or try something new. Maybe read all fours if you're like, I just am interested in,
Yeah.
it's always something to talk about. No matter what you learn, no matter if you like it or not, you still learn. I learned a lot from it and someone else's viewpoint. So it's always bringing some conversation to the table. So just stay inspired. Keep researching
Yeah.
and reading and watching.
Yeah, and stay, I guess, open-minded too, right? Because
Yeah, always.
if I
And the
wasn't
climate that we
open-minded about,
have.
yeah, yeah, and if I wasn't open-minded about Twilight, then I wouldn't be like I'm enjoying like kind of I feel like I'm in a blast from the past situation reading about like a high school girl and a vampire,
Yeah.
but it's so fun. And so I love that I'm revisiting that like teenage Renee. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Well,
So
good.
so stay inspired, stay open-minded, stay curious, and of course, we always have to stay what? Crazy.
Curious. Crazy.
I said curious.
Stay everything. I'm in midlife. I don't remember shit. All right. Well, thank you for listening. As always, keep on listening, and we really appreciate your support. And hopefully you have a great week. Until next time.
Yeah. And share with your friends, share with your family. We're so excited. We love seeing our numbers grow, and we love seeing our listeners grow. So thank you again. And yeah, until next time.